Hello and welcome to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes Grand Arena Championships Season 18, Week 1, Round 1. My name is Bomafett. Usually I do a long intro with my videos and we go in depth on my opponent, but I didn't have time to do that this round. We're going to get right into it. My opponent is named Tip, and you can see here that Tip has Galactic Legend Rey. So I was a bit concerned until I looked at Tip's stats. So you can see here that Tip has only 355,000 lifetime banners. That is very low. But more importantly, down here at the bottom of the stats, you see that the best rank achieved is Division 1 Chromium. That tells me that Tip doesn't really participate. They sign up, but then they don't do anything. Now, Tip is not on swgoh.gg, so I didn't have a GAC history to go off of, but that statistic right there told me to expect an auto-set defense, and sure enough, that's what I got. So these are the squads in the top zone, and here are the squads in the bottom zone. You've got to love that Rose Tico lead. Now, I am doing voiceover after the fact here. Usually I do live commentary, but this is after the fact because of my schedule. I had to record the video while I was at work, so I couldn't do voiceover at the same time. Now, I started off against the Rey squad here, and you can see that there is Jedi Training Rey and BB-8 in this squad, and Darth Revan and Grievous are both good characters. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to go really cheap here in order to defeat this squad. So I decided to take my regular Rey counter, which is this Darth Vader squad here, and you can see I'm a bit under-geared here. I've got 2 Gear 12s and a Gear 11. This has worked for me before against Reys, but this Rey with Darth Revan in it, Darth Revan's really fast, and this BB-8 is also very fast. So I was concerned that this squad just wouldn't be fast enough to take out this Rey squad. But I was hopeful I could get lucky with a saber toss, and if I couldn't take out Rey, hopefully I could at least take out a couple of the side characters. So it actually turns out that speed was not the problem, but I did make a few misplays here. So I start off by putting the weapons tech on Vader. That's great. Rey takes a turn, BB-8 does his wiggle, and now Vader's going to go merciless. Now here's the big mistake. I do my Force Crush while I'm focused on Rey. I should have done it while I was focused on Grievous. Now I'm going to go through and try and ability block some people, but right there, I took Grievous below full health. So by not focusing on the right person for that Force Crush, 2 things happened. Number 1, I didn't get an ability block on Rey, and number 2, I'm now stuck behind BB-8. Because I took Grievous down below full health, he put the mark on BB-8, and so I'm stuck attacking BB-8. Now here I put the health tech on Traya. It's not really going to matter. There's a whirlwind that kills Thrawn, Traya's down in 1 hit, and I'm still stuck behind BB-8. There goes Watt, there's the Fear, there goes Palpatine. I figure I'm just gonna completely lose. Luckily, my Vader does hold on long enough that I'm able to go into Merciless again. Now you'll notice that Rey is in her ultimate. But because Grievous and Darth Revan are dark side, I'm still able to do damage to them. And so there I got out both of those dark side characters. Now against these characters, I can only do 1 damage, so I'm just a sitting duck at this point. And here comes the ultimate, and bye-bye Vader. So a little misplay there completely messed me up. I just was not anticipating that mark from Grievous. It was something that I hadn't even considered. So I decided to do the cheese thing where you take in a garbage squad and you let Rey do the lifeblood to get herself down into the yellow, and then I would attack with a serious squad once she was in that yellow. So I've sped up this part of the video. I only took in 3 characters, that's all I needed. She's down in the yellow. Now I'm going to take in a serious Rey counter. So I selected this Bastila squad, but then I made some changes to it. So first I took out General Skywalker because I wanted him to lead the 501st against another squad, and I brought in Grandmaster Yoda in his place to replace his damage. Then, in order to get more speed, I switched Bastila and Jedi Revan. Now the key here is to get Bastila to land ability block as often as possible on Rey so that she can never do her whirlwind. Unfortunately, in the heat of battle, I sometimes forget that. So this battle turns out to be perhaps a little bit more dicey than it needed to be. Now, of course, their turn meter loaded, so they are going to go first, but luckily it's not too bad. Now, I was debating who to mark here. You can see that Rey has already gotten herself out of the yellow, so I decide to go after Jedi Training Rey. I do spread the buffs with Grandmaster Yoda, I often forget to do that, and I put the Master's Training on Jedi Knight Luke. Now with Bastila's turn, I'm stuck behind the mark here. I can't get off of that mark, so I can't ability block Rey, but I called Yoda to assist and he took out Jedi Training Rey. We go after BB-8 next. And here I'm going to do the stun with Luke, which of course only stuns BB-8. So now I'm trying to decide what to do with Revan here. Rey is in damage immunity, so I just pass turn meter to Bastila, and I get the ability block, which saved Yoda there. Now I'm going to do the AoE with Yoda. And attack BB-8 again. And now Grandmaster Yoda's hurting, so Hermit Yoda does the heal. Now Rey is out of damage immunity, so I call Luke to assist. And here Luke calls Basti to assist to get the ability block, but that doesn't stop the ultimate. So now Rey is in her ultimate stance. There's not much for me to do, I just do a few basics. Not sure why I did the big hit there with Yoda, that was a mistake. I really should have called Grandmaster Yoda to try and heal him up a bit. But there, the ultimate, it actually did proc Savior. But nobody ended up dying. I get the ability block on Rey there. Pass turn meter to Yoda so that he can spread the buffs. Now I'm going to put Grandmaster's Training on Yoda. Now I've got both Yoda and Jedi Knight Luke with the extra damage. There's a whirlwind, and I did lose Yoda. I got the ability block, so she can't do that again. I take in my Luke for a big hit. I mark her and take her down. So I got through this with only losing Grandmaster Yoda. It was a little bit dicey. I probably could have done a better job of controlling them. That extra squad that I took in there to get Rey to the yellow, turns out that was a waste. I didn't need to do that, it just cost me 10 banners. So this ended up as a 26. So now I needed to figure out what to do against the rest of these squads. I hadn't really made a full plan because I wasn't sure how many squads I was going to need to use to take down this Rey. So I decide next I'm going to go after the Chewbacca squad. It has Jedi Knight Luke and Jedi Knight Revan. So I decided to take my Darth Revan. He's a really good counter against Jedi, but I wasn't sure exactly how well he'd do here. I knew he would resist the stun from Jedi Knight Luke, so that was one of the things that I thought would really work well here. I put the fear on everyone except Luke, and now I get the shock on Luke, and then use the AoE from Basti to do damage to everyone. I decide to take out Chewbacca, because he's putting guard on Revan. So it only takes a few hits, and I'll get Chewie down here. You can see there that Luke tried to do the stun. It did nothing against my squad. And there goes Chewie. Now I'm going to go after Jedi Revan, but then I decide Wampa's hurt, so I'll take him out. He went down real quick, and then I was foolish and I went after Jedi Luke instead of Revan, and that procced Savior. That allowed them to live a bit longer. Again, I do the AoE shock there that takes out Jedi Revan. HK's almost gone, so I get rid of him. And now I'm worried about getting soloed by Jedi Knight Luke. He's going to be countering every single attack. So here goes Marauder. And here goes HK. Basti luckily lived, and then Revan takes him out. So not the greatest banner-wise, only 51 banners, which in 3v3 is fine, but in 5v5, 51 is terrible. So next up, we've got the C-3PO CLS squad, and I decide to do kind of a mirror match of sorts with my own CLS squad. But as you can see, C-3PO is not available. I put him on defense with my Padme squad. So I fumbled around a little bit, looking for a fifth. I decided I wanted to use R2 with my JTR. I was looking at Ezra and Kanan, but decided that I might need them for a Jedi squad. I pulled Stormtrooper Han, who's only gear 11, and I took him in. Now, I really wasn't very concerned about this squad. There's no leadership here. I decide to stun Vader so that he can't go merciless. Stick Ray does hit hard, and CLS was really my main concern, so I focused him down first. Vader comes out of the stun, so I decide to stun him again, and then I go back after CLS. I taunt with Stormtrooper Han here, and there goes CLS. Next, I get rid of Darth Vader while he's still stunned, and now I just have to finish off Stick Ray because the other two will disappear once she's gone. They retreat from battle. So a few hits, and she's gone, and the battle's over. So an easy 59 there. That opens up the ship zone, and you can see we've got a Malevolence here. But I decided to go after the squads first, so we're going to go after the Rose Tico squad next. And it seems like a bad squad, except it's got Malak. So I take in my General Skywalker 501st. Now, I really wasn't concerned with the Resistance characters. My only concern was Bastila and Malak. So I go after Dark Basti first. And I figure this should go relatively quickly. I just need to hit her a few times, get Skywalker a turn, and Skywalker should be able to take her out. But I make a mistake here. I do my second special, which does the AoE first, and that triggered the taunt from Holdo. And because of that, I wasn't able to get rid of Basti as quickly as I wanted. So Basti is still there, but I do get rid of her before she got the fear out. So that's the important part. Now I'm just going to get rid of all of these Resistance characters one by one. There goes Holdo. Next we'll take out Finn. And now Rose will go down pretty quickly. This should do it here. And now we just have Malak left. So it's Malak versus Gas. Gas can usually win this. There, I put the armor shred. I almost got him, and then he makes Skywalker kneel, but luckily my guys are able to take him out. I do the Rexecute. It doesn't do a ton of damage against Malak, but I did it anyhow. My guys get him out before he gets another turn. He was unable to do any damage against any of my clones, so a 59 there. Now against this last squad, I take in pretty much my last good squad remaining, which is my Jedi Training Rey squad. I just got Rey up to gear 13. I haven't put any relics on her. The rest of the squad you can see is gear 12 and BB-8 still at gear 11. So the big concern here was Gas, but he's only 6 stars, gear 11, so I really wasn't that worried about him. Now I go for the stun on Finn, and I land it, and now I pass around the inspiration. I've almost got Finn down. I decide to do the big hit, though, against Gas. So those two guys are both low. I throw the bomb with Finn, and it takes them both out. Now at this point, my squad has barely taken any damage, but B1 is going to be a party pooper. He's going to do an AoE and knock down protection on a bunch of my characters. Now I'm able to control the rest of this pretty easily. Nobody on the other side is even going to get another turn. I'm just trying to get around to Illuminated Destiny so that I can heal up. There went Ahsoka. Now I'm going to put the wave here on Poe. Go back after B1. And the burning here will take him out. And I'm really close to Illuminated Destiny. Here I should throw the bomb with Finn. That would heal me, but I forgot that that bomb heals. So I did get the Illuminated Destiny, but it wasn't enough to get my guys all healed up. I ended up with a 57, even though I really controlled that battle well. So now on to the back zone. And here we've got a Rolo squad and a Solo squad. If these squads were just rearranged a little bit, you could actually have a pretty decent Rebel squad. But as is, neither squad is that threatening. I go first against the Han Solo squad, and I take in my Geonosians. Now, of course, Han is going to shoot first, and I kind of got lucky. He didn't shoot one of my more important characters. Poggle is going to go next, and Poggle is just going to cleanse the stun. And because he has the Brute Alpha and the Brute on the other side, I'm stuck attacking the Brute at first, but I was able to clear the taunt, so now I go after Han Solo. I almost got him down. Old Ben does the wave, Han gets an attack, and the counter-attack kills Han. Next, I want to go after the Brute Alpha. I was ability blocked, so I didn't get the big hit with Spy, which was a little disappointing. And now we're going to get a taunt from Bossk. So now I'm going to have to go through Bossk before I can go back after the Brute Alpha. Luckily, this Bossk was not that tanky. It only took a few rounds of attacks in order to get through him. So there goes Bossk. And now the Brute is taunting again. So I have to go back after the Brute and get rid of that taunt. But he re-upped the taunt, so I have to attack him again. Now I've got the big hit. The Alpha's available. I take out the Alpha. So now I make kind of a tactical mistake. I should be going after Vet Chewie. He is the only offensive threat left, really. And yet I go after Old Ben for some reason. I guess I just underestimated Vet Chewie. Now we've got a taunt again from the Brute. Get rid of him. And again, back after Old Ben. Now Old Ben is going to go down, and holy moly! Vet Chewie just obliterated my Brute. Just one shot, gone. Now luckily, this Vet Chewie is slower than slow. And so, even though he's really tanky, it's going to take me a while to get through him. He's not going to get another attack, and the Brute doesn't matter as far as banners are concerned. The Brute as a summoned unit, it doesn't matter at all that I lost him. I still get 60 banners there. So against the last squad, I didn't really have a good squad remaining that I wanted to use here, but I did have Wampa. And with all the rebels on the other side, I knew I wanted to use Wampa. It was just who was I going to put him with? I had some leftover Jedi, some leftover Sith. I had Night Sisters, so I decided to go with the Sith. It really was not a very intelligent choice. I definitely underestimated the other squad. Now my Wampa is going to go first, and I do the AoE, and then Rolo just obliterated my Red Trooper. And things are not looking good for me. Nihilus is hurting, Scion not doing so well. Put the pain out there, get rid of all of their buffs. And now I decide to go after Grandmaster Yoda. I figure he's the biggest threat, but Thrawn just got a fracture. And there goes Nihilus. So at this point, I'm really starting to think that I might need to two-shot this squad. I got rid of Lando, and now I get a roar from the Wampa. There goes Scion, and it's up to Wampa to solo these three. Luckily, he does extra damage against Rolo. Thrawn's not that tough. Both of them go down, and now it's just Finn versus Wampa. Another roar, and bye-bye Finn. Only 51 banners. That's my second 51 of the match. That's terrible. So now it's on to the ships to get the full clear. We've got a Malevolence and Thrawn, and because these are auto sets, there's no synergy in either of these fleets. So against the Malevolence, I take my Negotiator. I take my standard lineup with the Y-Wing, Anakin, and Fives. I know a lot of people don't like Fives in the starting lineup. On offense, I really like it. I take Snips, Plo, and Rex as my reinforcements. I know a lot of people say that Rex is not a great reinforcement, but I actually like him in some cases as a reinforcement, and because he's only 6 stars, I'm not real comfortable starting him yet. I've almost got him to 7 stars. Now, of course, I do the dumbest thing possible here, and I target Han's Millennium Falcon, and he just cleanses and heals. So now I go after Vader, and I get rid of him real quick. Now I put the buff immunity, or I try to put the buff immunity on Rey's Falcon. The AoE gets rid of her. The big hit almost gets rid of the Falcon, and now we start getting reinforcements in. And this is why the Falcon is annoying when it's on a Malevolent squad, is that you have to take out all of the reinforcements before you can attack the Falcon, and the Malevolence every turn brings in either a reinforcement or one of the Vulture droids. So I got rid of the Vulture droid, and now he gets a reinforcement. And of course it's the Houndstooth. So now I have to work through the Houndstooth before I can get to the Falcon. Now you'll notice I did bring in my Rex as my reinforcement, and you'll see every chance I get with Rex, I'm going to pump turn meter into Anakin. That's his job. I just keep pumping turn meter. I bring in Plo Koon to get a heal, and I'm going to use him to drive turn meter as well. Now here I pump turn meter into Anakin, I get the AoE from Anakin, and that takes out the Falcon. And because Rex also pumps turn meter into himself, I get to do it again. And Anakin gets to go again. Now I just need a few more hits on the Houndstooth. Here's a big hit from Fives. And now the ultimate from the Negotiator. And there goes the Houndstooth. And it's a 67. Against this Thrawn fleet, I'm going to take my Home 1. Now, Home 1 against Thrawn is not great if it's an actual Empire fleet, but this is not. So I take in my Falcon, Biggs, and Y-Wing in the starting lineup. I take in Phoenix and Cassian as my reinforcements. Now, the other squad has a lot of offense in the starting lineup. We've got Poe Dameron, Anakin, and the Resistance X-Wing. But there's no tank over there. And so I'm going to be able to pretty much just cut right through them. I do the AoE with the Falcon. He gets an AoE from Anakin, but now the Y-Wing's going to call assists, and bye-bye Anakin. Now we're going to get more assists here against Poe Dameron. We've almost got him out, and there he goes. Now we've got the Resistance X-Wing, and we're going to bring in Cassian here as the reinforcement, and he's going to call more assists, and bye-bye Resistance X-Wing. So an easy 66 there. So I did manage to get the full clear. It was extremely inefficient. Not only 2 battles against Rey, but I had 2 other battles of 51, so I ended with a 2082. That is a really, really sad score, but hey, I got the full clear. I'm happy. I really wish CG would do something about the auto deploys. It really bums me out. So thank you for watching. I know auto deploys are not the most exciting videos to watch, so thank you for sticking around and watching this one, and I will see you in the next round.